Hello everyone and welcome back to another Lorcana video. Today we're diving into a different tournament than DLC Hong Kong. If you've been following the channel, you know we've been following a couple of games from there. We're actually jumping into CCQ Warsaw, which happened in Poland last weekend. We're going to jump straight into the finals here between a player called Słonce and uh, Data or Daminki. I don't know. Who knows how to pronounce the name? Anyways, we can see both players are already off and running here. We have a green blue versus a dogs player, so it should be an interesting matchup for us to watch. But yeah, as we jump into the game, if you haven't subscribed to the channel and left a like on this video, those things help the channel immensely. So if you've already done that, thank you so much and welcome back. And if this is your first time, we'd love to have you subscribe as we go into the next set and we have CCQs coming up just one after another, which is really, really exciting. So without further ado, let's dive into this game. And so you can see our green blue player has started off with a double cow here, double Clarabelle. And our dogs player opened up with a Daisy Duck. And of course, like before this match started, both players were able to see each other's deck lists, so that both players know exactly what each other are running. So our dog player knows whether the green blue player is running is running Under the Sea or not. And you know the green blue player knows exactly what version of dogs that our dogs player is running as well. So that's a good thing about playing in the finals of one of these things is like what your opponent is running here. And we saw the Daisy Duck quest here, and Słonce was able to pull out a Clarabelle shift. So if he didn't have it, super nice. He does have it, but I'm assuming he probably did have it before, and now this opens the door for him to shift on turn 4, which he didn't ramp. He didn't ramp on turn 2. He improvised into another Clarabelle, which means he probably missed ramp. Just assuming that's what happened into play there. But he's going to be able to shift Clarabelle on turn 4, turn 5, depending on if he has ramp or not. And then we'll be able to sing Under the Sea if he's playing it. So it's a big turn for the green blue player to be able to get that done. And you can see that our dogs player is running the Tiana build as well. So some dogs players ran Tiana, some didn't. So obviously this player decided that Tiana was worth playing. I'm interested to see whether he's playing Tiana and Chromacon or if it's just Tiana. Obviously Słonce knows that at this point, but we'll find out as this game keeps going. And lays down another lady here, and we'll pass it back over to Słonce. I think Słonce just picked up a sail. I think is what we just saw in his hands. No, picked up a vision. Okay, so he still has no ramp this game, which is pretty tough. He does have a Prince, the 3-cost Prince Philip in his hands, which isn't the worst. So we might just see him curve out here. Yeah, we're going to see him curve out here into the Prince Philip on turn 3. He has Daisy Duck on 4, which is, not a terrible play, but we are going to be able to see the tramp come down before that. So Mowgli comes down here, so Under the Sea is going to get ripped. Or, well, I guess Mowgli gets to make that decision. I'm assuming he had Under the Sea in his hand. He doesn't, but so Vision is the only action or song or item that he has in his hand, so it's going to get chosen to get removed out of his hands. We're going to see Daisy Duck quest again. Under the Sea. Wow. Pretty tough. Under the Sea was the next card to get pulled there, and it's going to go into the deck. And so most likely Słonce is only running 2 Under the Seas. Could just be running 1, but definitely at max running 2, I would assume. And so one of those cards is under his deck now. And so that has to make our dogs player feel pretty good about the way that this game is going. There's not going to be a big board wipe coming in anytime soon. Obviously, the earliest that could come in is whenever Słonce is on 6 ink with the Prince Philip sing and shift combo there. But we see a quest out there to go to 6 lore for our dogs player. So it's 6-1 there. And then we're going to see some trades. We're going to see Clarabelle, Prince Philip into that Daisy Duck just to stop that quest. I think he has another 1-cost Clarabelle in his hand. Just not what you're looking for here, unfortunately. Yeah. When he just passes. I guess he didn't have, I thought I saw Daisy Duck in his hand. He doesn't have it. Yeah, so his hand is just very, very tough at this point. And so we know next turn he's going to be able to shift into that Clarabelle. He's not going to get any value off of the play off of drawing cards from it, I don't think. But he will at least be able to play, and that's the card that won't be able to be under the seed by the dog player, assuming the dog's player is running under the seed on his side, which is obviously valuable because right now his board is very vulnerable to under the sea. We see the lady take out the Prince Philip, so that shift combo is not going to happen. And we see the shift lady, which is going to allow him to pull Daisy Duck and Lady back out of his discard. So we should see an ink here and probably toss back down Daisy Duck if I had to guess. And for Słonce, you're just really hoping that he doesn't take out that other one called Clarabelle, because I think he's sitting on 2 shift targets here, which I believe our dog's player knows that he has 2 in his hands. So I'd be surprised if that doesn't get taken out. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so he does take that out there. So now he's sitting on one little Clarabelle. Did he just draw into another under the sea? He did draw into his other under the sea. Okay, that's pretty crazy. So now at this point, he can shift his Clarabelle if he wants to. Unfortunately, he's going to be, a couple turns away from being able to see under the sea, but that could save him in this game. So that's a really interesting card draw. The problem here for him is that if he shifts Clarabelle, obviously he's going to want to hit Lady. If he hits Lady, that would mean Bobby and Mowgli could trade out into the Clarabelle, which would leave a wide open board for the Daisy Duck. He does have the follow-up next turn into a John Silver, which feels good, but he's still not able to get that under the sea off. So we see the Clarabelle shift come down, which I think is the obvious play. You can take out Lady, which has to happen as well. So we'll see 4 damage onto that Clarabelle, and he'll pass it back over. I think the dog's player inked Mowgli last turn. No, he still has it. So Mowgli is going to get played again, and an Undersea is going to get ripped, which is unfortunate. So now our dog's player knows that one of the Under the Seas is under the deck. The other one is he just quest out here? Okay, so we see a Basil pull here. It's a 12 lore though, and Clarabelle is not going to get taken out because there's not really any reason to take Clarabelle out, right? Like, there's no threat in singing anything because you just ripped it out from under his hands. And now you're representing 14 or 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. You're representing lethal on the board now, and there's not really much that Słonce can do about it because he never hit ramp, so he's so far off the Prince, like being able to play Prince Philip. The Prince Philip that he had got taken out. So it's like, what can he really do here? So yeah, he could John Silver, something on the board here and take out like maybe John Silver. I mean, I'm not sure that it matters because he can get rid of like Daisy and then either Mowgli or he can get rid of Daisy with Clarabelle, John Silver, whichever other one he wants to. But then our dog's player is still going to be hitting for 4 next turn. So he does do that. He does take out the Daisy, gives Reckless. Obviously, that's just going to take out the Clarabelle there, and he's just going to quest out to go, basically in the game next turn. He's sitting on so much on his board, and Słonce, I don't think is really going to be able to do anything here. So our dog's player, I believe, is just going to be able to take this. He is sitting on Malicious Meaning Scary, but he's, definitely doesn't have enough ink to play the Prince Philip combo, even if he had it. Yeah, he scoops up. So our dog's player is going to take it, and it's a really tough game for Słonce because I think he played it well. And if he had ramp, like if he would have hit ramp, I think he wins that game. But that's like the blessing and the curse of these Sapphire decks. It's like if you miss rank, obviously hitting ramp and getting up above your opponent is so good. But if you miss, it can cost you the game like it just did for Slont. So yeah, obviously great game by our Dogs player as well, just putting on the pressure when he needed to. Once he ripped that under the sea, he just went wide and went for it. So that's what you want to do as a Dogs player there. If you can call their bluff with the Mowgli at the right moment, or an Ursula, you're off and running. So we'll let both players shuffle their decks up here, and we'll jump back in for game 2. All right, so diving into game 2 here, and something we didn't mention at the first game is that Slants did go first in that first game. So unfortunately, losing that first game on the play in this bad matchup for the green-blue deck doesn't feel good. We do see the first card in his hand is a Tipo, so we are going to see some ramp out of him this game. Unfortunately, it is the Tipo. I think you'd much rather have the Sail. Well, as I say that, there is the Sail, because Tipo is just going to rip that extra card out of your hand. So I expect him to play Sail, but also like Tipo does give you that 1 damage, and it's a nice singing target as well, right? So it is tough to say which is the best option here. Tipo with the Shift Clarabelle gives you something to sing under the sea, which is obviously, if you hit that in this matchup, like it's almost the game, assuming that the other player isn't at like 16 or 17 lore already. So either option is good here, and it's a tough decision, which is why you see him really thinking about it here. And I think that's where like some Sapphire players can catch a bad rep, where it's like, yeah, like you're obviously ramping on turn 2 here. Like we obviously know that, but which card are you using the ramp is the question, and what are you going to ink before that? So he does ink the Prince Philip. I'm not sure what he inks with the Tipo there, but now that's 2 Prince Philips that he's inked out of his opening hand. And so our Dogs players definitely sees that and knows that the chances of that combo being hit are much, much lower now, and the chances of a second combo being hit are very, very minuscule at this point. So let's see how our Dogs player proceeds from this point. And our green-blue player only has 3 cards in his hand, and one of them is Sail. So a Mowgli here could be somewhat catastrophic for Slants. He'd be down to 3 cards after he draws next turn, which would be really tough to deal with. So he inks Dahlia Moon. Let's see what he does on turn 2 here. Doesn't look like Mowgli's going to happen. Looks like he might have a Daisy Duck into like maybe double 1-drops here. Okay, there's Daisy into a Tramp. That's going to give Lady the boost to Quest for 3 this turn. And we'll pass it back over to Slants. Slants draws into Donald Duck, which, you obviously don't want to give the Dogs player more cards, but you having more cards is pretty good too. So I expect the Donald Duck to come down, like go ink either John Silver or Vision and keep, but maybe, I don't know. Do you keep Sail? If you keep Sail, that allows you next turn to draw 2 cards and ramp again and get up to like 7 on the following turn, which would help you, hard cast into the sea if you need to. But keep like having Vision in his hand is pretty important too. So you can see this going either way. Okay, so he is going to just go ahead and Sail right now. Okay, interesting. Draws into another Sail. And so now, I mean, he's always going to double ramp here. I would expect the Sail to get taken out of his hands. But yeah, he's kind of in the same point that he was at before. So now Donald's going to go down. He might double Sail. He might Sail again. And then he could double ramp, which would, I mean, he'd obviously be up there in ink, but he's not doing anything to contest his board from the green or from the Dogs player. So yeah, I don't love this play by Slants. I think getting the Donald Duck down is fine. Like I don't think you mind that extra card being drawn from the Dogs player every turn, because you're getting the draw 2 as well. But obviously, I'm not at the finals of a DLC or at a CCQ, so Slants obviously knows how to take. Knows how to work this matchup. Okay, and this is the problem with what he did right now. So now he draws into an uninkable. So now he can ink twice more, but he doesn't, right? So he only inks twice on the 2 Sails. Now he's at 5 ink, going to go into 6 next turn. But he's got Cinderella in his hand, which is just a clog in his hand at this point. Like he definitely doesn't want to play that. And he's still going to have no way to contest the board from our Dogs player, and the Dogs player just drew into Mowgli. So if Mowgli comes down, I guess there's no more actions in his hand, so I guess the Mowgli coming down would not be the worst thing that's ever happened. And the play that Słonce just made makes it seem like he has like Under the Sea in his hand, and he's like trying to hyper ramp himself up. So I almost could see Mowgli come down here and just see what happens. Okay, so we see the Donald Duck trigger into a vision. So that's unfortunate for our green-blue player. It's going to put our dogs player at 5. And Mowgli comes down, and of course he's sitting on John Silver and Cinderella. We see the quest stat with the lady and the tramp to go to 7, just like the movie would say. Sorry, if you get an extended pause in talking here, it's probably me grabbing a drink. I saw someone comment that you could hear me drink, so I'm trying to mute myself whenever that happens. But so dogs push up to 7 here. He's representing 9, 10, 11, 12 on the board next turn. Słonce can't deal with anything on his board other than John Silvering the Daisy Duck. And the dogs player still has card advantage over him. That's why, I think the Donald Duck play is the better play on 4 ink there, and keeping your sale, because then at that point you have an extra target to sell the next turn. Like, you have an extra card to be able to make sure that you are able to get your value that you want, right? Or get your full ramping value, because he played that second sale and wasn't able to ink for it because he drew that Cinderella, right? All right, so pass it back over to Słonce. Słonce draws into he draws into the Under the Sea. So now at this point he's in so much trouble now. Like that was the problem with the play, that he went super risky, that I don't think he needed to go that risky. So he went so risky there, and now at this point he's drawn into 2 uninkables with the Cinderella and Under the Sea. He has John Silver. He can't play John Silver now. He can play Cinderella, but if he plays Cinderella, he's going to ink John Silver or Under the Sea, which are 2 cards that he needs in this matchup. So his line that he played not playing the Donald Duck has played him into an unwinnable situation here. I say unwinnable. It's not unwinnable, but it's pretty close to unwinnable. He's in a very bad spot here. And our dogs player is sitting on an Ursula. So, even if this didn't happen, Under the Sea probably isn't going to get to stay in his hands. But still, it's very, very tough for him, just the line that he ended up drawing there. So he is going to play the Cinderella. He's going to have to decide which one to ink. I'm imagining the right ink is going to be Under the Sea. If he inks the John Silver, oh man, I didn't even see that in the dog's player's hand. So 1, 3. Okay, so he can't play Under the Sea yet, I don't think, right? 1, 2. Okay, not yet. He can't play Under the Sea. He's got Under the Sea in his hand as well. So if he plays Under the Sea, this game's just over. Słonce is just gone. So yeah, I'm trying to think, what could 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what his out is here, but he's gonna have to ink something this turn. He does decide the Under the Sea with the Cinderella is the right play, which I agree with. Draws in the 3, cost Prince Philip, but I think it's going to be a little bit too late. So yeah, I think our dogs player will just turn sideways here, because there's nothing on the board for Słonce that can really do anything about this board. Yeah, Ursula comes down. There goes. Oh, the Under the Sea got inked. That's right. So that's fine. But I don't think there's going to be anything really. I mean, obviously John Silver can come down next turn. That can give Daisy Duck Reckless. We can start cleaning up a few characters with the Cinderella. Okay. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, I talked all that to say, at this point, if he top decks his other Under the Sea, he will probably win this game. And that's how crazy this matchup can go. Because he can shift. He can shift Clarabelle next turn, and then he will be able to sing Under the Sea if he has it. Which, that's a massive if. But the option is there. which is crazy to think about that he is still in this game. Just with how bad he's drawing, like the line that he ended up taking is very, very tough. So does our dog player just quest out here? He's doing some counting here. Because yeah, he can quest out here and go to 10, 11, 12, 13. Lady's not drawing. I think Lady can quest, right? So we can go up to 10, 11, 12, 14. Which then, yeah, I mean, that's got to be the right play, right? I think you just got to quest out here, put the pressure on. So he's definitely going to quest with Tramp. Or no, he's going to sing Dahlia Moon. Okay, onto the Cinderella, which is going to make sure that Cinderella can't trade anything out. Oh, and then the tramp comes down now, and now he can draw out, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards here. Obviously, he has to discard 6 as well, but now he's going to be able to get exactly what he wants. We see Under the Sea in his hands. So Under the Sea was drawn here. Or he had it. I'm not sure, one of the two. But Under the Sea is a possibility for him to keep. I don't hate it, honestly. Like, he knows next turn is going to be Clarabelle Shift or John Silver. Okay, so he's not going to keep the Under the Sea. I'm not sure. I can't remember what card he kept. Now we're questing out. Going to 13, and he can just pass it back over, right? And I think barring another Under the Sea draw this turn, I think the game is probably over here, right? Because he's representing... Well, that's not it. That's malicious, mean, and scary. He's at 15... 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So he's at 23 on board with everything together. Since he gave Dahlia Moon to Cinderella, Cinderella can't trade anything. So the only thing that can take something out is going to be the Clarabelle Shift or a John Silver, which would still put him above the line to win the game here. So yeah, I think he basically played this out where, like, basically he told the green-blue player, hey, if you top deck Under the Sea, you can take this game. But any other situation, I win. Which is just, yeah, it's just so tough. And this matchup is very, very tough for the green-blue player. Yeah, I mean, I hate to keep harping back to that Donald Duck line, but if the Donald Duck comes down, he has more cards in his hand that he's able to play, and he could have drawn into that Under the Sea again. He could have drawn into what he like something else he needed here. So we're gonna see Malicious, Mean, and Scary get sung by Cinderella. Okay, so that's gonna allow him to hit something with the Tipo and take it out. So that might keep him alive one turn, maybe. I don't think so, though, because we get 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's 10 on the board. So 10 on the board. I would put 23. So yeah, I think that does keep him alive. So we're going to take out the Mowgli and the Lady with the Clarabelle. Okay, so we're going to play John Silver now. So he's got 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 on board. So he does have game on board, but obviously the John Silver is going to come down here and give either Tramp or Daisy Duck Reckless. I think you have to give Daisy Duck Reckless, right? Okay, John Silver comes down. Yeah, I think you have to give Daisy Duck Reckless. I could be wrong about that. I mean, it's a tough call because if you give Daisy Duck Reckless and if you give it to Tramp and Daisy Duck Quest and he pulls your Under the Sea, the game's over. Like Słonce has one out here and it's drawing Under the Sea next turn. Now let's see, so 2 or 1, 3, 5, 6. So if he draws Go Go Tamago, this game is over. It doesn't matter. He'll need to ink something to get that done. But if he has to go Tamago, the game's over. He also could have Webby to give the lady a boost to let it quest for 3, in which case this game's over. Obviously, Słonce is in a really, really rough spot, but let's see if our dog's player can end the game here. Okay, Bobby comes down. Is that the lady's shift line? It can't be, right? If that was the lady's shift line, he could have shifted and won, right? 2, 4, 6, 7. Yeah, that would have won the game. So hopefully that wasn't that in his hands. So you obviously want to make sure you discard the right card here with Bobby and make sure that your follow-up play here is going to be good. But again, like, you're playing with an opponent that the only out that he really has is top decking Under the Sea, right? Like, that's the only way he gets back into this game. Because he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If he had 8 ink and could ink into the Prince Philip play, like, then this game's a lot more scary, right? Because everything on the board for our dog's player has damage. So this would be a board wipe. But that's not an option for him. And I think we know the one card left in his hand is the Clarabelle Shift. So, like, that's not that worrying. So, yeah, I mean, that was the lady. Huh. Maybe he drew that with the Bobby. I'm hoping he drew that with the Bobby. If not, then that's pretty tough. Quest out at that point. And then we'll take out the Clarabelle with the Daisy Duck that had Reckless. And yeah, at this point for Słonce, we are fishing for Under the Sea. That's the game here. Does he pull it? He pulls Mother's Knows Best. I don't think that's going to be enough. Because he's, yeah. Yep, that's going to do it. The handshake comes in. So our dog's player there, Damaneks, I think is how you pronounce that, takes game 2 and takes the finals 2-0. So, yeah, I mean, great series there by both players. I mean, Słonce, obviously coming in that know he's playing against dogs, is not a great feeling as a green-blue player. Like, that's a bad matchup. Things have to go extremely right to be able to win that matchup. And just things, especially in game 2, just did not go right for him. Like, drawing into those, like, double uninkables back-to-back off of the sail, just, like, not being able to, like, double ramp there. Just didn't go well. In game 1, he missed ramp overall. So, yeah, just 2 rough games for Słonce that he's definitely going to go home and be really, really frustrated about that he doesn't able to, like, really get into any sort of game in either one of the games there. So definitely tough. But, of course, like, don't take anything away from our dog's player. He played the game that he had to play to win this matchup and obviously did. So congrats to him. I think that moves him over into the European Championships, which is super, super exciting. So congrats to him. And, yeah, that's the finals of CCQ Warsaw. Again, if you made it this far, appreciate you checking out the video. Thanks for sticking around to the end. If you haven't left a subscription or like on the video, really appreciate those. Let's help the channel a lot as we go into Winter Spell. My goal is going into this year of Lorcana to hopefully get invited to cast one of these live events. It would be super, super fun. So the more I can grow this channel and the more of an audience we have here, will hopefully give me a chance to do that. So thank y'all for being here and supporting that goal. So yeah, I'll see you in the next one.